and welcome to LG Archiving about the LGR warehouse or LG archive, whatever people are calling it. I don't even know myself yet. But yeah, I haven't done an update on the progress over here and things that have been happening since building it, at least not publicly. So yeah, I figured why not? Because at the last couple or few of the conventions that I've been doing, it's been like the #1 topic of conversation, right? Folks just asking, hey, is it totally done? Have you got everything in there that you wanted? Is there anything you're wanting to change? Have you gotten everything out of storage? Is the retro room done? I've seen some things in the background and maybe some have seen things on Patreon, most haven't. So it's like, yeah, I should probably do an update of some kind, right? So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to take a look at this main area, as well as the very much in progress retro room, go over some of the loading and unloading and just all the stuff that is still yet to be gotten out of storage. And also this loft space, because yeah, this has become a fun little retro gaming spot. Yeah, let's just get right to it. All right, so this is where we're at with the LGR building in August 2026. And yeah, I know I posted a video here on the main channel of just this being a completely empty building, and obviously it's come a ways since then, but I've also been doing these LGR wrap-up videos and posting on other socials some clips of things being added, but I'll show a little bit more of that here. So it really was a whole process of working with the same guys that actually rebuilt my house after the hurricane. And yeah, I was just talking to them like, hey, can you build these kind of shelves to these dimensions? And they were like, heck yeah, that'll be easy. So they did. Just laid it out with a bunch of tape on the floor and gave them dimensions. And yeah, they put together some really dang sturdy shelves. Each of them are about 10 feet tall. The walls are 12 foot. The whole building is 1,800 square foot, by the way. So just filled up as much of that as made sense. So I would also still have a loading area up front and an area for the room. And then a loft up above is what I ended up doing there. Just a little ladder staircase going up to that. And then a couple of workbenches, or at least they will be workbenches, over to the sides. So this one is one right now, but the other one is just sort of a loading area. And initially this was left open purposely just as a completely open space here in the middle. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with. Well, pretty quickly it turned into sort of a unloading and loading and testing of projects kind of space. So just set a few different tables here, a little tool chest over there for taking things apart and doing cleaning and filming some things. You know, it's not the best setup in terms of lighting or sound or anything, but slowly getting better as I continue working over here and seeing what works and doesn't. And well, let's just go around this way, I suppose. Because yeah, this is like kind of a main storage area that is not really that full yet. Which is a good thing, because there's still a whole lot left to go. So at the moment, I have things kind of grouped together, and I don't really know where it's going to end up for real. Like, I don't think I'm going to keep all, like, this is just camera and, like, capture stuff and sort of visual kind of things all together here. I'm sure this will end up somewhere else, but for now, it's just right there. These shelves over here don't have really anything on them yet. Things in the back corner and higher up, pretty much the farther back and higher up, you know, the more inconveniently placed it is stuff that I figure I'm rarely ever going to get to. In fact, a lot that I'd probably want to sell or give away at some point. You know, I'm very much a PC-focused channel, so while having some of these is nice, you know, I mean, I've already covered like this and that, and, you know, I'll get to maybe some of these eventually. But, you know, while I do have some projects in mind for some of these, several of them I just don't, and I really think they'd be better suited to someone else's collection. But you know, that's for eventually. So as of now, though, I'm just trying to get things, again, sort of sorted to a somewhat good degree. I don't know, like all the Apple mice are right here. Keyboards for different Apple devices over here. Mostly Mac stuff. Commodore and Amiga and things are going to go over here. And yeah, at the moment, I just have drives here because why not? Lots of optical drives, some more of those in the box. And I have so many more in storage that, you know, again, I think I'm going to come up with some better solution, hopefully. Because I don't like stacking things necessarily like this. I'd like to have maybe another shelf in between for a lot of these shelves. And, you know, that'll be something that as I get everything in here and see what I really need, then I'll do. But that's one reason I left these, I think that's 19 inches in between each one here. So, like, I wanted it to be open enough for larger boxes and CRTs, but also like, you know, for instance, I'd love to do like a better shelf for all the hard disks. So, you know, right now they're just in these little drawers, which is fine, but like all these, yeah, I'd like to have something sort of made for it, but we'll get there when I get there. And then, yeah, these are the shelves, at least in this section, that have the most actually on them. Right now it's mostly all-in-one machines and portables, luggables, laptops, and for some reason I've got video cards here. I just don't know where these are gonna go yet, but you know, just sticking them all together as I get them out of storage, and I can kind of see how much I have of each type of device. And for the moment, this is where portables, luggables, laptops, ultra portable thingies, some 5 1/4 inch drive bays, power supplies, I don't know, just some stuff is over here. With the laptops, I would also like to get some sort of vertical solution, something like I want to do with the keyboards, but I don't know what to do about either of those yet. But yeah, that's where these are living at the moment. All the kind of laptop and PDA and portable adjacent things. The speakers are right here for now. The weather station, because I don't know where else to put it. Same with like, you know, other random little doohickeys. Like, well, where is that even gonna go? I don't know. We'll find a spot for it eventually. And then over here in the middle is probably gonna be like the main PC and clone area. I don't know, I just like the way it feels. So I have a whole bunch more IBMs and PS2s and stuff. Just fill that up with those and the monitors to match them and keyboards and stuff as I find them. And some Dells and HPs, some Gateways, Packard Bells and Sonys and E-machines and whatever the heck. A whole bunch of beige. I don't know. Like I said, I just like the way it feels to have all these together and to be like surrounded by them, because I can fill most of these shelves in just this section with basic beige boxes and, you know, some slightly more interesting PC oddities. At the moment, I'm stacking them like this. It probably will make more sense to put them sideways eventually, but, you know, we'll get there when we get there. Got these shelves here of mostly just random stuff for the moment. So, yeah, video cards and some video-related devices. HVAC control over here. Bunch of keyboards. I really want something better in terms of keyboard management. So, you know, either putting them in boxes or making some sort of like slotted shelving thing. I don't know, I've got at least another 30 keyboards that'll need to go somewhere. And of course, things like mice and related adapters and stuff all right here. And this is kind of, I mean, these are actually some of the same drawers that I was using in my previous space. These work quite nicely for like separating. These are all PS2 mice. These are all serial. Some USB, some slightly odd ones, other related adapters and cables and things. And then this is just random stuff I haven't gone through yet. And this is all just random oddware. Who knows where that stuff is going to go. And speaking of which, there are an awful lot of unsorted oddities and more unusual things over here, and continuing on over here too. This is, you know, mostly because of the vicinity to the car, right? It was easy to just put a bunch of things here and then generally sort them together. Yeah, right now it's like just, these are all different unsorted cards. I mean, they're kind of sorted. Like, this is all video cards, you know, PCI, random like IO things, controller cards, single board computers and motherboards, but other stuff too. And also some sound cards and some Gravis things, and here's some Amiga things and AGP cards. Oh yeah, they're organized by basic type of card, right? But they could be way more so, and I've always wanted them to be more so. Like, stick the ATI cards together, the NVIDIA ones together, separate all the ISA and PCI and types of sound cards, you know, by manufacturer or era, capability. Like, there's just so many times where I want something very specific and I have to hunt through all these. I'm so tired of doing that. Still needs to be gone through. This is all sound cards. This is mostly sound-related stuff in here, but then it goes on to joysticks and game pads, and then it's like sound devices that aren't, you know, yeah, I don't know, it kind of made sense going up there, and now the more I look at it, it really doesn't make sense. And then I've just been sticking like big box PC software and games in here too, sort of vaguely together. And then this is just a cool stand I found, just random things on there as an experiment, seeing maybe some different ways to display things. But yeah, I've got this here, which is connected to a record player and some auxiliary input over there. That'll definitely be moving as well. And then, yeah, I kind of have, this all started off as just like video game things and then monitors, but then other stuff too. Cause yeah, I really need to go through here and find somewhere in particular, like I need a dedicated corner just for the video game things, because they're so separate in my mind, and I've actually never fully gone through and separated like the video game collection versus, you know, the PC stuff. They've always been kind of side by side like this, so I've been sort of clustering them together, and I can just take them out, put them somewhere eventually. That'll make more sense. I think it just started raining. All right. But yeah, good few CRTs over here. There's another dozen or so still in storage at least, but these I've just got over here because it's convenient to have them closer by to where I'm doing work, and you know, don't want to be carrying them too far. Once I get the video game stuff moved somewhere else, I think this will be really quite cool. I'll move the LCDs over here too, I'm sure. A lot of stuff on the top shelf is empty boxes. Will definitely be a lot of empty boxes in the top shelves because I'm never going to be up there. And if I do want to get up there, I have one of these rolling ladder things, which are great. Quite high up. I'm going to reach out whatever I want. We'll get to that. Speaking of that, loft video stuff is going to be going up there eventually. And then, yeah, just a workbench. This is the only one that I've sort of put together at the moment and have been using. I have another one over there, just haven't added any lights to it. I was experimenting with some different things, so haven't really fully decided what that's going to be yet. But so far, it's working well just as a place to work. Again, haven't decided on placement of anything, but you know, records here, cheap record player, till I can find my better one. I know it's around somewhere in storage. And yeah, the walls, if you saw the previous video on the channel here, they were kind of yellowish where that spray foam closed cell insulation went. They had to be covered in this fire resistant paint as a regulation thing, but yeah, that's why they're white now. And I do plan on putting like some pegboard or some shelving, a mixture of things, I don't know, slats, something to where I can hang things up and store some things up above there that I need most often for doing restoration, repairs, and just general video stuff, and have a better background than just, you know, that. And I haven't moved my office over here yet. I'm actually still on Wi-Fi too, but those who were asking, it's actually okay in here. Like, I've got no complaints. And I don't have anything inside yet. I just have one of those like outdoor extender thingies for my router setup, and this is what I get inside the building. So it's not bad at all. Again, no complaints for what I do in here, which is not much online yet. Now, for those wondering about temperature control and humidity, it has been raining today, so it's a little more humid. I like to keep it around 73 or so, and no higher than 60%, so I need to turn a dehumidifier back on. Still haven't set up a full-time thing for that yet, but I want to get like a bigger industrial one just to have going all the time. And yes, I really do wish that I put a full restroom out here. It would just be nice. It's not necessary or anything, but man, it would be convenient. Moving on to the other side here, arcade boards, don't know where those are gonna go yet. This is the cart that I've been using, and yeah, just unloading stuff from the car and then moving it around and doing this whole thing. I don't know why, but it's very satisfying to do that. Just like, it was like going through the Indiana Jones warehouse, and then just a couple of little spots over here, mostly just for loading and unloading and going through all this stuff, trying to organize it, and then putting it, you know, on the cart and then finding a spot for it. There's no rhyme or reason to this area yet at all. And then this under here will eventually be the retro room setup, which, you know, I mean, I've been using it. It's just not at all finished yet. Just sort of put a little corner together here and there as I need it for different videos and stuff. So that's like where I had that DVD video. DVDs are still there. Still have it set up when I was putting together the thumbnail. Yeah, that's what this is. We'll definitely be showing more of this as a complete set eventually, because I want to have like record collection over here and, you know, some other kind of shelving and a nice little TV area and a computer setup and, you know, the old 70s and 80s consoles. And it sure is nice going through storage and like finding all the different things that'll make sense to put up in like a 70s, 80s basement loungy setup. Reminds me of early 90s childhood. And then we got the loft. And this, I still don't exactly know where this is going to turn into, but right now It's just sort of a hangout spot and a nifty overlook of everything. It's just a fun view up here. I still don't have any railings or anything up here, so feels a little, especially when you're sitting in the chairs. It feels like you're gonna fall backwards. So anyway, the idea here is to not do railings. I wanna do some shelves maybe this high-ish and just kind of put those around the edges. And of course, over here as well, up to, again, right about here or so, maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 feet. And then, yeah, put all my video game stuff on those. I don't really know yet. I'm liking the idea of this being a video game area because I was just at Goodwill and found this lovely thing from the presumably 90s, maybe early 2000s or something, like one of those little AV things. It was just small enough, the right height and everything. I was like, dude, it'd be perfect for my Sony Trinitron and DVD and VHS and console things. And you can stick like, tapes right here and whatever on the shelf there. It's perfect for this kind of setup. So right now it's just like DVD, VHS, N64, and this ridiculous carpet. I was looking at some different carpets online trying to find something for down there in the retro room, like a shag kind of thing. I wanted something in an orange, like a nice retro orange. This looks like, I don't know, I skinned a Muppet or something. It's ridiculous looking, and it's a little too slick. But whatever, it was cheap, so I won't be getting another one of those. But anyway, I was trying to find something for down there, and I want one in either an orange or a green, like this kind of a green for the carpet. And so I was just grabbing a couple cheap things to see what might work and what might not, and I haven't decided on anything yet. And yeah, this is just sort of a loungy kind of spot at the moment. So planning to hook like a Xbox 360 and PS3 and slightly newer things up to this, maybe a Steam machine or some version of it that I put together actually using a mini PC. And then retro things over here, and then surround myself with more retro around it. I don't know, we'll see. It's constantly evolving as I get stuff out of storage. And speaking of getting things out of storage and physically over here, it hasn't yet been the most efficient process. Just, whenever I'm out running errands, may as well just grab some stuff out of the storage unit. Just pack the car full of things. Yeah. It's, a decent amount, and honestly, it's about the most that I'd want to go through in an afternoon anyway with each trip. What I really need to do just once and for all to get everything out of storage is just rent a big old U-Haul or something and get it all over here at once over a weekend or something with some help, but just haven't been able to make that happen. It's been working out okay, though. Just going through all these things and finding out what is in there, because so much of it was, packed up with help from others after the storm, and it was loosely grouped together in some cases, but in a lot of them it's just like, I don't know what's in there. Yeah, it's just all kinds of stuff. PC power pad, random video converter stuff, manuals, looks like one of these 45s. Yeah. Oh man, I was wondering where that went. Just totally don't know what that is. I'm sure it's a laptop, but like what? I don't know. Yeah, Gateway Solo 2200. I haven't seen that since I did a video on it. Guess I just packed it up and completely forgot which bag it was in. Now, a lot of these, it seems straightforward. Oh, it's just a Commodore 64, but like, what else? That's a fast load cartridge, craft joystick, some other things. Yeah. I was wondering where the heck that went. SD2IEC. A whole bunch of boxes like these where it's like, I'm pretty sure it's just stuffed with stuff. So, some old school smartwatches, and a PC radio thing, and an air conditioner, 5 1/4 inch drive bay, Cybershades 3D. Yeah, it was just all kind of crammed in here, and wherever there was room, right? The Relax stress reduction system. Yeah, hooks up to your PC, and you plug it into yourself, put on a headband. I don't know, or like this. What is this? I guess I got it shipped to me and just never opened it. It's probably right before the storm. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a Hyundai desktop computer. One of those Korean clones, I'm sure. Oh, yeah. It's a familiar sight. What a smart-looking machine. that's like the only one that's labeled. These others could have who the heck knows what inside. Oh, geez. Wow, there's some of the games I knew I was missing when I covered the Xbox 360. Right. GeForce MX 4000. Yeah, truly very, very random things. All kinds of little projects, and hey, that goes to a Pro Audio Spectrum, I think. Duke Nukem action figures. Power cable. Oh man. Disciples of Steel. Yeah, some of these I had out relatively not long before the storm. Like I had that out for the NSYNC video. Still smells like gum. Okay, that's why. An old webcam. Stuff, just stuff. And then there's just on shelves and like, you know, they were never organized really to begin with. They were displayed or something, you know, packed up on a shelf, but like, so easy for things to go from that to this when you're recovering from a storm. Yeah, just keyboards. Newer ones even. Yeah, I never even got around to covering that 8BitDo one. That NES-styled keyboard. A lot of IBM documentation.
And also Garfield books. Okay.
Well, yeah, I think you get the gist, right? Just every couple of days or so for however many months it's been, just a lot of going through storage and pulling things out, putting them into the car, bringing them back over here, and then going through them whenever I can. And in between all the other projects and, you know, just trying to make videos. I'm really trying to keep up here, but there's so much more that still remains. And, well, on that note, here is what remains. At least one of the units, believe it or not, there is actually quite a bit has been removed from here, but still quite a bit left, especially towards the back here. Stacked multiple layers deep in multiple directions. And yeah, believe it or not, like 80% of this was actually moved out of here, and this was getting pretty close to empty and into my home right before the storm. And of course, obviously, all that had to come right back in here after that. So it's just been hard to find things for a long time, you know? Organizing and kind of cataloging and separating everything out as I go through it has been amazing. There's so much of this where I haven't got a chance to do that ever. And it's not the only unit. Oh boy, definitely not. There are two more. This is the primary one. The other one is much, much smaller. It just has a lot of household stuff that was, like up in the living room, the kitchen, dining room, and bedroom and stuff. But this is mostly PC games. So this one I never did empty out at all. I was in the process of it before the storm. And that's why all these things are in these, because I was taking the stuff that was on the shelves, and I got up to like that point and like emptied out all those shelves. I was gonna build out like a PC game collection room, which I still want to do, but this is like almost half empty, I guess. So between that other storage unit though and this one, it's gonna be a heck of a lot. Hence my saying I just need to get a big old van or truck or two and some help and make a weekend or few out of it and just move everything over there. And then it feels so overwhelming a lot of times, but we'll get there. Gotta keep telling myself it's gonna happen. In the meantime, though, it is just one load at a time in my vehicle by myself. Or, occasionally some other folks helping out, but mostly me. So, yeah, what an action-packed summer. Although genuinely not a type of action I'm opposed to at all. This has been so exciting and invigorating and just, a bit of fulfillment of long-term goals, which that's always nice, right? So hopefully you enjoyed seeing this come together, and we'll continue to see it come together as it comes together. What am I saying? I don't know. This definitely won't be the last update though. So if you did enjoy this, stick around. There's going to be some more substantial something or other coming once I finally get things more nailed down and figured out in terms of where I want to put everything. It's still kind of haphazard at the moment, but I don't know. I guess it kind of always will be, probably, if I have to be honest with myself. And I have to be because, man, I know my own tendencies. yeah, well, thank you very much to everyone who has supported the channel over the years and continues to do so. Like, this has been the idea for so very, very long. So to see it actually start to really come into its own thing in reality instead of just in my mind and sketches and things that I've had going in the background and notes and stuff. Yeah, it's wild and awesome, and I really want to turn this into the best possible use of resources that this can be. You know, I don't want to squander this. I don't want to take it for granted. I know that this is very special, and this can turn into something extremely cool and unique. And I don't know. I don't even know what kind of uses we'll have in the future, but the LGR archive will continue to grow and expand, become more densely packed, and hopefully better organized from here. So that is it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching.